Welcome or welcome back to my channel. It is so good to have you here. So the reason why I wanted to shoot this video very quickly, I hope I always say it's very quickly, but it turns out to be so much longer than I expected. But there are several things that I want to put this all in one video. So first of all, lately, if you follow the news, and I didn't want to go into it, although I'm following the murder cases that's happening actually recently, because I do have an intuitive, investigative side of myself. And I also keep saying that I should work for the CSI because I have a certain, I don't know what it is, but this intuitive feeling that something is not adding up in here. And this exactly happened again with the Idaho murder case of 4 Idaho University students. And I will be diving into the witness DM. So something wasn't adding up immediately. I thought something is not adding up. And because everybody on social media is moving into one direction, for all the cases that is in the news, I always was saying the other direction. And everybody was attacking me because I say black instead of white, was everybody is saying. And at the end of the day, I was always right, because the news comes out, police reports comes out, or secret information comes out, something comes out that it proves me correct every single time. This was the same case for Johnny Depp's case. And this will bring me into, which I also will talk about in a second section of this video, about how these cases are being publicized in the media, in the news, and it should be stopped publicizing so openly in the news for everybody to put their nose inside. So this I will talk about. The third thing I want to talk about in this video is that people should stop banking on other people's tragedy. It's just unbelievable to me how people use these cases to get social media following, get news coverage, get publicity for themselves, for their business. It's unbelievable to me. And the third one, I will give you also an example very, very, very broadly. I don't want to dive deep into it. I don't want to name names. In the Massachusetts case, which news came out that Anna Walshe was missing since New Year's Day. And just today, the news broke out that her husband is now being charged for murder. Again, today, just today, news came out with the Idaho murder that something was off with the DM witness documentation. So I will talk about these things. Let's dive right deep into it. So for the DM, for the Idaho murder case, that DM, the witness in the house, one of the roommates, so there were 4 people, right? 3 girls and 1 boy who was really horribly murdered, stabbed several times. And then there was these 2 other girls as roommates. So what happened today, so everybody thought, okay, you know what? This DM in the affidavit was explaining that she saw this guy and then she froze and she opened the door 3 times. 3 times she talked about in the affidavit that she heard noises upstairs coming, that one of the girls who was killed or stabbed horribly was kind of playing, or she thought that somebody's playing with the dog. And so the second time she opened the door, she heard somebody was crying, and it was in the same floor. And it was also the girl who was murdered, because somebody was crying. And then she heard a male voice saying that it's okay, I'm going to help you. And then on the 3rd time, when she opened the door again, then she came face to face with the alleged murder in this case, who is now in custody, Koberger. So this is the affidavit, what she talked about. And then, interesting enough, and then she locked the door and she hasn't called 911, the police, nobody. Actually, not nobody. I will come into that. She did not call 911, not the police, until 8 hours later, the next day, because this murder happened around 4 a.m. in the morning, and she called at 11 or so, 11 a.m. or 12 p.m., and she hasn't called anyone until then. Not anyone, again, not the police. So, and everybody was speculating, and all these experts on the news was like, oh, she was in shock, and oh, yeah, she probably was in shock. But also one single expert also said this type of shock that people are describing will only last short amount of time, very short. It's not a, you don't freeze for 8 hours. Exactly. You don't freeze for 8 hours. Immediately when I heard this immediate news that all this happening at the time when Koberger was being labeled, I say labeled because we still don't know, it's all allegedly, okay? Yes, there's all this DNA that has been found and so on. It is important to still, and I'm talking to the social media people and to people who do these YouTube videos, YouTube channels, just to gain money out of this. So this is still allegedly, okay? So until the investigators have proven and the defense also showed their side, I mean, I'm not saying he's not, and I'm not saying he is. I'm saying that we have to put our nose outside of this goddamn investigation, especially if it's this serious. If people's lives are at stake and people got murdered, so you have to shut the hell up and let the investigators do their job without speculating on things that just because you want to make money out of it. So what I thought right away was, wait a minute, if you dearly, and that's why when I shut up my hell up, I didn't say anything because I knew I would be attacked right away, so I didn't say anything. So, and I knew that later on when then this DM's affidavit, because first information we got in the news was that the DM and the other girl were sleeping. That's what they said. I don't know why people have this fish brain and forget 2 seconds ago. That was the very first statement and the very first time when these people were murdered. These young students were murdered. So they said they slept over it. They didn't even hear anything. They slept through it. Then, and the affidavit, which was unbelievable, every single FBI investigator or former FBI investigator said this is, or like even the criminal attorneys, they said this is unbelievably strange to have a 16-page of affidavit. Usually they said affidavits is very broad, 1 or 2 pages, but this affidavit, which I find very, very strange, to literally point the finger on this by DM, by the way, by the witness, by one of the roommates, DM, that literally pointing the finger that this is the guy, or that affidavit was be written in a way, and even the former FBI investigators or other criminal investigators, they also agreeing with me on this one, or I agree with them, saying that yes, this was very weird because they were pointing the finger on this guy. Then later on, only few said in the news, you know, and some of the investigators, like former FBI's, actually pretty recent, like few days ago. But before then, everybody was pointing the finger all in the news on this guy. Yes, with the DNA and all, with the car and with his cell phone pinging thing. So DM wasn't even asked to see this Koberger to literally confirm that whether or not this is the guy she thought she saw that she described in the affidavit. So it was only at that moment what she saw as a witness was being described as this is the guy. Bushy eyebrows and around 6 feet tall. This guy is 5'10", athletically built but not necessarily big, something like that. But it was kind of like, this is the guy. Then today, actually, news broke out finally saying that, wait a second, DM first in the police report said that we slept through. Then in the affidavit said, I opened the door one time, I opened the door a second time, I opened the door a third time, and there was this guy face to face with me. And then you don't call the police and say there's something wrong in here, even though if you didn't see anybody got murdered. So that's an important part that people are missing, and people are speculating in all these videos. It's just ridiculous to me. Coming to the second point, that literally people should stop, the news outlet and the court, I don't know, investigators should stop putting these type of severe, heavy cases still under investigation, or murder cases or things like that, should really do this without getting the public involved. It is hurting the case. It is truly hurting the case. There's a severe finger pointing going on. Everybody is like this investigator. Everybody is like, oh, and even only one single former FBI investigator said literally in the news that it should be stopped putting this out there in the news, in the public, in open. Actually, that happened only after the investigators closed the report by the defendant side, the Koberger side, saying that, wait a minute, this and this and this happened. And then the court closed it and said, okay, no more to the public. That should be sealed. After that, only after that, that former FBI investigator said, we should stop doing these things. We should not openly, publicly these cases. She literally said, because there are people playing. She literally used this word. Again, I totally agree. Playing this and being an investigator or something, and literally misguiding the public, misleading the public. And yes, those people are not doing this just for fun, which is horrible on the other side, but they are doing this to gain money out of these, with their YouTube videos, out of these type of horrible cases. I'm not saying that we should not inform the public. Yes, however, we should not putting these in the still investigation steps, these information unsealed out of the public. Gives so much speculation, so many things. And I also am not happy, I'm not agreeing that these types of court cases should not be putting up out in the public, like the Johnny Depp Amber Heard case, which was horrible, and the way it was done in the media was unbelievable. Watch my videos on this, and I was right, because while everybody was pointing towards the fingers of Amber Heard, I said in my video, no, both are in this. And everybody was attacking me. It was one of my most disliked videos. But what happened, I know I don't back down, because I know what I'm talking about. And then after the case was closed, Amber Heard was smashed into it. I'm not saying she's innocent, but I'm also not saying Johnny Depp is innocent. And what happened was, after the case was closed, Johnny Depp's secret text messages came out, and many people, his friends in Hollywood, backed down and not supported him anymore. So, and in this case, the reason why I said in my mind, and I didn't put it out because I also don't have time to just deal with this stuff. I have so much thing that I'm working. I mean, like, it's just so emotionally disturbing for me, even to, I don't want to get myself into this negative emotions because it is horrible. It is truly horrible. Yes, I'm following it, but I just also don't have the time to talk about all of this. But it's enough is enough. So the reason why I immediately thought, and again, I was right, because DM didn't call the police for 8 hours, okay? Even people on the news, these investigators or lawyers, blah, blah, this, oh, probably she did drugs and that's why she was zoomed out, or she didn't want the police to know. Like, what the hell are you talking about? And also, like, oh, as if it's so random. Like, since when doing drugs is becoming so random? Like, what are you talking about? For me, immediately, I said it to people around me. I said, look, if you really dearly care about somebody, okay, you don't have to love this person. If you have a roommate, if you have a neighbor you care about, right? If you hear, or even as DM later described, see somebody come face to face with the mask and all that you don't even know, and you hear these voices, people are crying, male voices, don't worry, I will help you, like, and then you come face to face with the guy, you don't call the police? Like, what? I mean, even if you're scared to death, you lock the door, as she said in the affidavit, then you call quietly. I'm not sure. I mean, yes, nobody is in this position. I hope nobody will ever. But today in the news came also out that she called to, I don't know, somebody, one of the victims' friends or so, 2 friends, also in the university. Like, what's that about? She called them first, not the police. I mean, I don't understand. So the only reason why I was thinking about this is that sometimes, look, again, I'm not saying DM is or isn't lying. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying what I am thinking, or what in general what's happening. Usually what happens is that, or at least I immediately thought of it. That's why I was very, very like speculating in my mind. I was like, oh, this doesn't add up to me. Even without even knowing this came out today, I was thinking that if you look at these girls and their relationships, so these 2 girls were like best friends, right? Maybe even more than just best friends, and people insisting saying they're just best friends, but I don't know. Oh, I'm not going to go deeper into that. Anyway, so that and this boyfriend and girlfriend, okay? So they said that these 4 were inseparable. And you also noticed, and some in the beginning they said they are just all beautiful. And maybe, which is oftentimes the case, Girls can be jealous. Girls can be jealous, and a jealous girl can do a lot of things. Not nice things. And so, I don't know. That came immediately to my mind. And again, I'm not saying, and if you say, I'm speculating, yes, I'm just saying what I was thinking, and I was shutting up the entire time because I'm sick and tired to hear what people are just saying. No, she's so innocent and you have no clue. You know, and I'm just reading the comments on these videos and, you have absolutely no clue what she's going through. And then these investigators and this psychologists, this doctors on whatever came out and this, no, you have no idea. She must be in shock. And only one single doctor said it lasts only short period of time, not 8 hours. And it's clearly this type of stuff is being dismissed very quickly in the news, in the media. Why? Because it doesn't feed into what people are feeding on, getting their blood from. I don't care. For me, everybody has equal rights to defend themselves. I mean, if in any way, shape, or I'm not going to go deeper into, because I have so much more to say what I'm thinking, but I'm not going to go into this. I'm not, because I don't want to hurt the case with something that nobody has the final information. Also, there are so many things came out. I don't know if you have seen this. I will try to look all of these up again because I have records of these news, so I can put down the link so you can read for yourself. So that Koberger also said that with his defense attorney, that actually there is somebody else, but then immediately that was sealed. So we are not knowing, but I have seen in the news that it came out in the news that Koberger, somebody who describes themselves as Koberger's family member, said that there was somebody else too in the university, the security guy or something, was doing drugs together because Koberger has, I guess, reportedly a neurological disorder and a severe migraine, and because nothing was helping with his pain, and he also had this strange vision, etc. And so he was moving into doing drugs, and then he was doing with that security guy, and then he did something, that security guy took some girls, and then the family member said that Koberger wasn't liking what he was doing, and then that Koberger distanced himself from that guy, and that he take revenge or something like that. So I am not sure what this is all about. I'm just saying what came out in the news. So also Koberger's defense side is sealed. So we don't know, and they have 6 months. He rejected his right to have a speedy trial, and they put in a 6 months time. So in June, they will put their case, and the prosecutor will put their case too. So again, I'm not liking these type of cases to be so much in the news, in the media. I don't like it, and people, investigators and the courts and the police departments should stop this, literally stop this. Then the third point, in the murder case, actually now they are thinking that Anna, while she was in Massachusetts, was murdered. She was going missing, and the husband was as a suspect in a custody. Now today they said they will charge him with murder. But at the same time, I see that people like in Massachusetts that I know from years ago, who I know who use every single person around them. I'm not going to go into deeper who this person is, but around them, use them. And funny enough, last year, I shoot a video in another language, and I gave this person as an example how people use other people for their own gain. And I give that person as an example, and I haven't published that video. I haven't published that video. I recorded it, but I haven't published it. And that exact same person now using this case to gain publicity for themselves and for, I don't want to go deeper into, but it makes me so mad. It makes me so mad. I just can't believe this is actually happening, that when I saw this person in the news, coming now more and more out in the news and putting all the attention again on themselves, I just couldn't. I even wanted to shoot right away a video and said, look, I was shocked that this person is now in the news, and see what this person is promoting. And I wanted to say something about this person, but then I didn't do it. And I said, just don't think about it. I was mind blown. And the next thing, yesterday, this person I saw in the news again, literally, I don't want to say it, how should I say this? Did this thing, exact same thing that I wanted to point out for you in the video, that I decided I'm not going to do it. And in the next day's news, that person did a thing, proved my point. I was in shock. I was like, if I would have shooted that video, that would have been a confirmation. I don't know what to say. Now, this person is in the news, constantly promoting themselves and what the person is doing is just unbelievable. Just because this person has a personality like this, constantly using other people for their own gain. It is mind-blowing to use this again, putting up an angel cover mask, but I know the person. It is using other people's tragedy to gain publicity out of it. It's disgusting as it can get. And I was literally pointing this out last year in this video where I gave this person as an example. I am in shock that this is happening, it sees in front of my eyes. I cannot believe this. For people who don't know this person would say, oh, doing such a good thing. No. If you know the person, know what that person did to other people, using other people, stabbing behind other people's back, stealing other people's hard work, I'm just mind blown. Anyway, okay. I want to say I'm so angry about this, but literally, we should really stop doing this. Stop. There are so many murder cases every single day coming out, popping out. It's just unbelievable to me. Unbelievable to me. What on earth is happening to this world? What on earth is happening to the people? And what is happening? How low can we go to use these tragedies for own gain? I am speechless about it, and we should stop the media, the investigators, the lawyers, the psychologists, the doctors, whatever, the news outlets, the courts. They should stop feeding into this and let people comment on this non-stop for their own gain. And the news outlet, as I keep saying this, are worse than ever because they also gain. The more they can just like go on and on and on and on and just speculating. They also are the sources to speculate, to feed the speculation. God damn it, man. Okay, I'm gonna stop here, but I just want to point this out because I hope you can like and share this video and comment on this so that we can beat the goddamn YouTube algorithm, and this video will be in front of everybody. People might attack me for this. I don't give a damn. I never give a damn for anything because I can put my signature under every single video I do, and every single time I'm right. That's how it is. So I don't care. But if you can like, share, comment, whatever the jazz is, put this video in front of the people, and everybody should understand, and hopefully investigators, courts, polices, news outlets, whatever, can finally see this and say, okay, we should do something about it. And if you're agreeing with me, please also let me know in the comments. And yeah, I don't know. And if you have anything to say, of course, let me know because I'm very curious. And I know on my channel, there are so many good-hearted people who believes the same that I do. Take care. I mean, I really want to say this. Take care of yourself. So many horrible murder cases going on recently. It's just mind-blowing to me. So please don't hang out on social media too much. Be always alert people when you go somewhere. Let your close ones know where you're going. If you take a trip, just don't go into like this ultra middle of nowhere trips. I mean, I don't know. It's just, and these things also, let me just tell you this before I close, it just came to my mind. The more these things come out like this in detail, the more anxiety it causes in the society. Anxiety, depression, social anxiety, which is very severe. And so now it makes me think, is this the goal? Like, what? I don't think it is the goal, but it leads into that. Do we really want to have so many mental ill people and then we have everybody smoke marijuana and get high and just like flower power all over again, and nobody gives a damn, and nobody, I don't know what to say. What kind of goddamn society is this? I have no words. Let me know what you think, okay? Take care. Bye bye.